Whether they pose a threat to travelers' safety or may cause detrimental harm to one's physical health, here is our list of the 10 worst places for Americans to visit around the world. Know before you go! 1. Saudi Arabia. The US Department of State advises Americans to exercise extreme caution when visiting Saudi Arabia due to, in part, the increased amount of armed conflict. One place in particular, edge of the world in Riyadh, was once an insanely popular tourist destination, but perhaps it's now better to stay away. 2. El Salvador. Amazing views, delicious cuisine and impressive ruins will have to wait due to the increase in violence. One day Americans may finally get the green light to make the trek to El Salvador again. 3. Somalia. The US Department of State even suggests those who ignore the warning to draft their last will and testament before heading out to this East African country. The country's Prime Minister has dreams of a brighter future, and our fingers are crossed too, because it's an amazing place. 4. Honduras. Americans might want to think twice about traveling to Honduras, especially since the lack of police and increased incidents of crime. Hopefully it will change soon because there's so much to see of Mayan history. 5. Democratic Republic of the Congo. It's not a good place to visit right now because of the problems with Ebola and armed conflict. But it is a wonderfully different place full of beautiful mountains, volcanoes and the Lake Kivu. 6. Bangkok, Thailand. This country is quite the opposite. It's not a good place to visit because of the amount of tourists. It's so crowded that we're starting to affect the country negatively, so maybe it's better just to give it a time. 7. Afghanistan. Recent conflicts and attacks and communist coups make it a really bad place to visit. Hopefully one day we'll once again be able to see the stunning Hindu Kush mountains and breathtaking lakes. 8. North Korea. It isn't entirely impossible to visit North Korea, but the US Department of State advises its citizens that traveling to the East Asian country could result in arrest and long-term detention by the hands of North Korea's government officials. 9. Mount Everest. Mountain trekkers have to come up with the estimated $40,000 to be guided up the mountain by a local Nepali operator, and there are also physical dangers for climbing to the peak, including frostbite and hypothermia from the freezing temperatures. So yeah, it's a bit risky. 10. Beijing, China. This is the worst place to visit because of the serious air pollution. They have a huge smog problem in the city, resulting in the government having to implement emergency measures to help alleviate the problem. You should wait until they fix it. Which one do you think is the worst place to visit? Comment below.